of Chucky. Kind of a bit of a return to form. Spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the movie, I'm going to be spoiling it a little bit. Not super in-depth, but I'm going to be spoiling it. Warning. There you go. This movie felt like a proper Child's Play movie again, and it is easily my third favorite so far. I'd rank 1 and 2 and then Curse. Curse is so good. It lacks a little bit that 1 and 2 had for me, but it could be because it's a bit samey, but oh boy, I love this one. I really like the direction it took. Chucky comes back again. Again! Do they explain it? Nope. Why would they do that? This time around, he's torturing a woman named Nika. Nika kind of has an uncanny resemblance to Charles Lee Ray, though. Might be because of the movie, or it might be because of the actress being Brad Dourif's daughter. Probably the latter. Her family's around, but they're kind of little help. It really is Nika being the brains of this operation. A really cool element to this movie that I liked is that Nika has a disability, which makes it a lot harder for her to combat Chucky, and it makes for a very likable protagonist because you really want them to succeed. It's unlikely, but you want them to. Nika is already at a disadvantage taking on Chucky, and they do say in the story why, which is kind of messed up. But that is a very nice element that I enjoyed. It added a lot of value to this movie for me. Few nitpicks that I had with this movie is, this is gonna be really bad. The exterior shots during the day, I don't know what they did, but the saturation was so high because everything else is really dark, so you have to like squint. Now you know what you're looking at. And then when they get to the outside shots, it's just... What? Why? Why would you do this to us? It was very jarring. There was also a bit of foreshadowing that they did, but it didn't pay off, or if it did pay off, it didn't matter. If you're gonna foreshadow something, it should be a big deal, but it either wasn't, because I mean, I still don't even know if the foreshadowing paid off or not, or if it just happened. What? This movie, this time around, it does also feel like a made-for-TV movie. I feel like it was straight-to-video thing, which is fine. Curse really brought it back to that original feeling for me, and I was a massive fan of this entry for that. Chucky is hilarious! Everybody's afraid of him. This is exactly what I want. Chucky to be laughing at his own jokes and everyone else is crying at it. This movie does a really cool thing of adding a bit of a backstory to Charles Lee Ray, which they hadn't really done before. They were like, oh, he's into voodoo. Oh, he was with Tiffany. This one was deeper into the backstory of Charles, and it's cool to see him not in doll form, even if he's evil. He's still evil. It kind of feels like a puzzle is being crafted of Chucky. Whether or not Don Mancini has known all along what the backstory was, it feels right when we're told things about him. Again, it could very well just be written day before, like, oh crap, what are we gonna do? I know. Yeah, we're gonna make him stab a pregnant woman. What? It could very well be that, or maybe in 1988 he was like, I have an idea. In the fifth movie? What are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're on the 6th movie. In the 6th movie, we're going to reveal some backstory. I really do like the flashbacks in this movie. Another downside, I guess, to this movie is that Nika's the only character that I care about aside from Chucky himself. There's also a father character that's okay, but he's not really that much of a standout. Everybody else you do not care about, or at least I didn't care about, but Chucky was awesome and Nika was a great protagonist, and that's really all you need because that's what the movie hinges on. Everybody else is kind of filler, and like most slasher movies, they are filler, but those two were great. Location of this movie is also really cool because in the past we've had like an apartment building, a nice home, a military school. You're on the road with Bride. See, it was a movie. But this one, it's in like not quite a mansion, but like a nice big house. And it's very vintage. Has a nice elevator that looks like a callback to the first movie. I really like the location in this one because it adds a lot to where Chucky's hiding and everything, because if it's vintage, you know there's probably a lot of little areas for him to hide as he's trying to take out people. The soundtrack was another standout in this one. I really like the soundtrack. That is another thing with this series. It has always kept me entertained. It might not have some substance in it, but it's entertaining, and usually it has a good soundtrack, which is a very nice thing to hear. I was going to say to see, but that wouldn't make sense. It's very nice to incorporate into the movie. I am always a big fan of a good soundtrack because you can go and listen to it afterwards. This one, I don't necessarily know if it would be listenable outside of it, but it made every moment that much better for me. The design of Chucky in this movie is arguably the most scary because it's a little bit very uncanny. It looks too nice. I love to hate it because like it looks too nice to the point where there's something off with it, you know. But they won't know. until it's too late. Overall, I love this entry, and it is exactly what I wanted the direction of the franchise to be after 3, or even as a third movie. 3 we really didn't need, but it exists. So this is the direction I wanted. Chucky's hilarious, and everybody else is afraid of him. It's perfect. Bride and Seed were a little bit of a detour in terms of tone, and I understand why, because they basically did the same plot 3 times in a row, so it made sense. You had to change it up. But this movie felt like a proper sequel in the way that it was executed. And this is exactly how I want Chucky to be done. In a cool location with a likable protagonist and creative ways that he takes people out. Aside from the few nitpicks I have, this is easily my 3rd favorite entry in the franchise thus far. Still have 1 more movie left. I really enjoyed this one. We are going on to Cult next. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, watch another video. I don't know. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Have a good day.